Hello and happy Memorial Day. So this Memorial Day, I thought it'd be fun to first talk about the fact that you need rest, you need relaxation. So take the day. If you're in the States, this is a holiday. So take the holiday. Enjoy the time with your friends and family. Hopefully you have beautiful weather where you're at. Even if you don't, take the time to do something for you, to rest, to rejuvenate, because you're not good for your business, for your colleagues, for your team, if you're not taking care of you. And so that is sort of my PSA for today. But let's get to the Q&A, shall we? So we have a Q&A from Susan, and Susan says, I wish there was a way that I could improve my language when it comes to talking to my clients. So, for example, I had a client that said to me that they wanted to negotiate, but I didn't actually want to negotiate. So I said, we don't negotiate. And I feel like I screwed it up. Well, I don't feel like I screwed it up. Someone told me I screwed it up. Susan, I love the honesty in that. Okay, so Susan, you didn't screw it up, but there's better language. So let me share a little bit of what would be better language for that. And not just for that, but for some other things as well. So we don't negotiate automatically cuts off the conversation. That's why whomever said that to you said that that wasn't really the right language to use. A better way of saying this is our investment reflects the results and the quality that we deliver. Now, notice, Susan, I said our investment. I didn't say our price, because we don't want people to think about our product or service in terms of what it's going to cost them, but more so that they're investing in something and they're going to get a return from that investment. So that's why I didn't say price, I said investment. Another common one that people will say that I've heard, kind of Susan going along with this, is that I'll do it cheaper. First of all, you don't want the word cheap and your services to be connected. So we don't say, I do it cheaper. A better way of saying this would be, I will adjust the scope to fit your budget. So really now the conversation is around their budget, and you're taking things away that would make sure that you could fit into their budget so that you don't feel like you're being cheap and they don't feel like it's a cheap product or service. So the other thing is that when you're in a situation where you want to know, could they afford more than what they've been sort of talking about in terms of as you're building your scope and you're thinking, well, I don't know if they can afford this. I have a really great saying is don't count other people's pennies. It's just basically just because someone is, for example, a nonprofit, don't assume that they can't afford your services. Or if they're a small business, don't assume they can't afford your services. If they want to work with you, they will figure out a way to find the money. So don't count other people's pennies. With that, a simple question to find out if they could actually afford what you're offering, the package you're offering, is that what budget are you comfortable working with? From the very beginning, having that conversation is, what's your budget, or where's your budget range, or what are you comfortable working with? Those statements will really help in terms of being able to understand what they can and cannot pay. So the other thing is that when you have someone that kind of gives you some resistance and you feel like they're going to say no to you, the best way to sort of graciously move through that when you're sort of getting that no and saying, if it's not your priority right now, can we revisit this when you're ready? So when they've said, no, this isn't something we're going to do, then a simple sort of bringing it back so that you can come back again saying, okay, if this is not your priority right now, when can we revisit this once you're ready? because you know that they really want the service. They may be uncomfortable with the price. They may not be ready right now. So what you're doing is you're saying, I understand that it's a not no, but I'd love to reschedule something for us to talk about it later. I hope that's helpful, Susan. There's a way to tactfully sort of graciously bow out of conversations and also discover what people are interested in. We don't want to cut people off directly because you never know what tomorrow will bring for that person. They may realize, oh, I can now afford this service, or now it is a priority in our company. And so I want to bring Susan back. So you never want to be in a situation where you are giving them language that makes them feel like you're not interested in working with them. Unless you're actually not interested in working with them, Susan, because we do get to fire clients or not hire clients if they're not the right fit for us. But if you feel like this client is the right fit for you, you really want to work with them, I hope these language tips will help you be able to have a conversation that doesn't cut it off, but continues the conversation. If you'll notice behind me, there's a bottle of white wine. It was a lovely gift from a client for work that we did recently. And so that is why it is on my credenza behind me, just a lovely reminder. I have not opened it. I haven't even put it in the proper refrigeration, but I just thought such a sweet gift. Love to share it with everyone. Okay, with that, I will say have a wonderful Memorial weekend, and we'll see you next Monday, same time, same place. Wait, don't go away. I know I said see you next time, next week, but I had to come back because I get this question a lot, and I thought it'd be fun to jump back in and give this to you. What makes a great facilitator? So I'm going to give you, because it's Memorial Day, I'm going to give you 10 great tips for being a great facilitator. Yep, that's what's happening right now. That's what's up. All right. So your first tip is let the group shine. You're not the hero. You're the guide. So be the guide, not the hero. Let the group that you're facilitating shine. Don't use icebreakers. Use primers. What the heck does that mean, Marie? Well, I hate icebreakers. Don't tell my mother I said that. I'm not supposed to say hate, but I totally do. I hate icebreakers. So instead of using icebreakers, use something that sets the tone with purpose. Primers are intentional. They're my term for what people traditionally call icebreakers, but I call it primers because it's priming the beginning of the workshop meeting. It's giving people what the purpose is, and it's putting it in mind. The next tip is pay attention to verbal and nonverbal cues. What does that simply mean? The loudest thing in a room is the body. It really is. So pay attention. As a facilitator, your job is to watch the room. You see the energy going down. Your job is to bring that energy up. You are the ringmaster, so pay attention to those verbal and nonverbal cues. This next one, I think, is really important. You need to be the quiz master. You need to ask better questions to get better conversations. Yes, no questions don't help move the conversation forward. And not all open-ended questions are good questions. So think about the type of question you're asking and how you can be a question master by moving the conversation forward with thought-provoking, critical thinking questions. All right, here's the next one, which I think is super duper important for people. Sometimes we don't get this. Being a great facilitator is about designing and planning and then being flexible. You got to read the room. So you got to plan to pivot. You cannot just stick to your script. You have to be able to be that adaptive ninja that sees what's happening and being willing to be flexible and pivot. Sometimes conversations and meetings take us to different places, and it's super frustrating for the meeting attendees to be cut off when they're really excited about where it's going. So be that ninja and plan to pivot. The other thing is, drives me nuts when you're in the midst of a conversation and it's not connected to the purpose or the goal of the meeting. So you've got to be the one that closes the loop. You've got to be the one that creates the circle, that takes what is happening and brings it back to the purpose of the workshop or the meeting. You got to be that loop closer. And then the other important thing is make space for people to take space. We have a lot of great talkers, so help them pause and help thinkers share, because talkers talk out what they're thinking and thinkers go internally before they speak, and sometimes the moment has passed. So as a facilitator, you have to be that sort of traffic cop in terms of handling the emotions in the room. So create spaces. Don't just tell people to talk when they're not naturally inclined to do that, or tell people to stop talking when they're not naturally inclined to do that. Of course, we want people to self-regulate. The truth is, as a facilitator, it's your responsibility to make space for people to take space. The next one, really on brand. What can I say? When people play, they participate. So add a little structure or challenge to boost the energy by gamifying a piece of the meeting. This allows people to really dig into. The next one, which is number 9, is use silence as a tool. A well-placed pause can be powerful. Don't rush to fill the void. What do I mean by that? Really simply, give people space to process what's happening. Don't be afraid of the silence. Let it happen. Some of the best things happen in our quiet moments, in quiet spaces, and don't allow participants to hijack the silence because it makes them nervous. Lean into the silence, be comfortable with the silence, learn to use the silence as a tool. The next one is so important and it's so critical. End with action. Don't just inspire, activate. What's the next step should always be the question that you're going to end with, because you want people to take action. The worst thing that can happen is to walk out of a meeting and feel like no action has been taken and it's been a waste of your time. So what's the next step? What's the action that needs to be taken? Make sure you go through that. My favorite thing, and I use it all the time, and I'm going to give credit to Jeff Crane, who really is the person that developed this, is DAM. Decision, action, message. DAM. He ends every meeting, and he's got me doing it now too. I end every meeting with what's the decision, what's the action we're going to take, and what's the message we're going to take out of this meeting to be able to give to the others in the organization. So always end with action, always end with DAM. And with that, I will tell you, that is your bonus moment. I hope you enjoyed it. Okay, now, seriously, now you can go. All right, bye. Go have fun. Play with your family. Go do something. Stop.